everybody. I just want to say thanks so much to organisers for asking us to be here, for having us here, and for putting on the conference. I know it's a huge amount of work. We've done it ourselves, and you're all probably going to collapse on Sunday. Well, Monday, after we party on Sunday, after it's over, when Charles brings us to the club. Anyway, so yeah, Owen was saying I'm a qualified accountant, but I've been working in the office for the last about 5 years. And sometimes people kind of ask, they don't really get it. They're like, why are you working there? You could be earning lots of money and climbing your way up the ladder. And then they hear I'm sitting on a yacht in California, and they go, no, but really, but why do we do it? Why do any of us do it? It's because this abortion is bigger than us. This problem is bigger and more urgent than anything else that we have, really, in our lives. I personally believe that it's the greatest tragedy and the most heinous crime that the world has ever seen. And every year there are literally millions of children silently crying out and begging for somebody to help them, somebody to give them mercy. And we have to decide if that somebody is going to be us, or if we're going to just ignore them cries. Because even if you can't hear them, it doesn't mean that they're not there. And I don't know, I cannot stand before God when I die and say to him and look him in the eye and say I was too busy to do this, or it just wasn't my thing. So that's what I do it anyway. That's what I think you should all do. But it's not all hard work. It's great fun as well along the way. I mean, hey, I'm in California. If you're willing to do work like this, you will reap rewards, and you'll meet amazing people. And like right now, we're on the other side of the world with people that we met through international events like conferences and like roadshows that we put on in Ireland. So yeah, you'll definitely reap benefits from it as well. The fact that I'm standing right here now is testament to that. I would consider myself a patriot, I suppose. So Ireland has been and always will be my priority, even though, like by the grace of God, we don't have abortion in Ireland. There is still always a constant battle there, believe it or not, because we have a very bad media, we have a lot of very bad politicians, so we're really on our toes there all the time. But that does not mean that we don't work internationally. And we work internationally for two reasons. One is because we have to. We're constantly facing international pressure to legalise abortion in Ireland, from the European Union, from the UN. We're constantly being chastised by our neighbours in Europe because we don't have legalised abortion. Recently the UN did their Universal Periodic Review, and there was lots of recommendations in it from other countries saying that Ireland had to legalise abortion. You know, this is ridiculous, they're backwards, they're so behind the rest of us, why don't they have this? And from that, we organised, we created awareness, and we organised a kind of a nationwide awareness campaign, and we got people to attend the public meetings and make submissions and lobby their politicians. And as a result of that, and just creating awareness and asking people to do something, our government was forced to reject all of the recommendations. So the politician who actually had to physically reject them, he would have loved to accept them, so he kind of had to come home with his tail between his legs and say, sorry, no, I don't want to implement them. And we pressure from the likes of Planned Parenthood, who actually funded a recent court case in the European Court of Human Rights, which tried to overturn our pro-life laws. And I think it's kind of ridiculous. Like, Planned Parenthood is an absolutely massive organisation. They make God knows how much profit every year, millions. We're a relatively small country, but they're so frustrated by the fact that we have the audacity to reject their violence that they actually brought us to a foreign court. That is just unbelievable to me. One of their lawyers on the case, she was actually an American lady, her name was Julie Kay, and she said, pretty lovely. She said that Ireland was the jewel in the crown of the pro-life movement. So that they... But I have a message for Julie Kay and for Planned Parenthood. That jewel is still there, and if we have anything to do with it, it's never coming out. And we're going to add more and more jewels to that crown. And everyone in this room has to help with that. You can put the jewels on. The second reason that we do it is because we want to do it, and we should do it. We can only benefit from working together, from sharing ideas and strategies and coming together to conferences like this. You cannot quantify the benefits that you get from just that motivation of people coming together, sharing their successes, sharing their stories, you know, telling little tricks of things that really worked for them and how they even just saved one life, or even like Lila Rose, how she is actually overturning Planned Parenthood right now. So we can't overestimate that. So we try to work with organisations internationally as much as we practically can, especially in Europe, where, you know, obviously we're closer and we face a lot of the same things from the European Union, you know, because they're just taking more and more control all the time, and they're practically just our own government right now. Like, our own government is practically defunct. So we work a lot with the organisations in Europe, and in the last few years there's just been an incredible upsurge, especially amongst the youth, in the pro-life movement in Europe. There are just rallies cropping up everywhere and conferences, and it's all the youth who are doing it. It's people your age, and there's you know, they're starting small, but there's an incredible momentum there, like Andy was saying, and we just have to keep that momentum going. It's so important. So we all kind of help each other much as we can. We attend conferences and rallies. We organise protests jointly together. We share our creativity and our ideas. Like, for example, we recently ran a billboard in Ireland, and it's actually now being used in 4 different countries, including the US. So it's important that we are all willing to share what we have in this battle, because it's not us. This is not about youth defence. It's not about survivors. It's about abortion. It's bigger than us. So we need to be willing to pool all our resources and share what we can to achieve our ultimate goal. And that's how we will achieve it, by coming together and sharing everything we have. So the more we unite, like, the stronger we get. I give you a kind of a funny example of one thing. A few years ago, there was one of our, like, senior politicians, and he was making a serious threat to legalise abortion. So we door-stopped him. I don't know if you know what door-stop means, but basically we turned up wherever he was and protested him. But then he flew to Australia, and when he got off the plane, Youth Defence Australia were waiting there with a protest. But he never achieved his goal, so we achieved our goal, I suppose, from that. And just recently, Katie, this was a very sad time for me, because it was like losing my right arm, but it was good for the pro-life community. She used to work in the office until September, and she has just gone over to Brussels to set up the Youth Defence Brussels over there. So they're using all our materials. They just translate the materials. They're adopting our street sessions. They recently did their first street session in Brussels there, and they're working towards their next Rally for Life, which is in March. Yeah, so you know, that's just, it's having that willingness to share what you have, to work with each other and to cooperate. You can build amazing things out of that, and it's just gathering and gathering, and it's only getting better and better all the time. So just to finish, you're all welcome in Ireland anytime that you want. We usually have a few interns, and maybe not all of you together, but maybe yes. We usually have a few interns. We have our summer roadshow, which we always have a bit of an international crowd on that. That's in July. We'd love to see you there. If you're, you know, our interns usually kind of work to their skills. If you're good at researching, if you're good at writing, if you're good at organising things, if you just want to come and do street sessions and the clinic work and that, we'd all love to have you. And that's it. Thank you.